Today, we return to the wide-open plains, back to 1990, back to a film where silence, wind, and distant drums told a story larger than words. Dances with Wolves was not just a Western, it was a journey into loneliness, friendship, respect, and the search for a place to belong. Then and now, how have they changed after all these years? Who is still with us? Who has passed away? And whose memory still rides across the prairie? Let's begin. John Dunbar is a soldier searching for meaning. He is lonely, curious, and quietly brave. At first, he arrives at the frontier as a man with no real home, only a uniform, a horse, and a silent outpost. But slowly, the land begins to change him. The people begin to change him, and the life he once knew starts to feel far away. Dunbar learns to listen, he learns to see, and he discovers that belonging can arrive in the most unexpected place. By the end, he is no longer only Lieutenant Dunbar. He becomes Dances with Wolves, a man reborn under the open sky. Kevin Costner was born on January 18, 1955, in Linwood, California, USA. Before becoming one of Hollywood's defining stars, he worked his way up slowly, with quiet determination and a deep love for classic American storytelling. In the 1980s, he began rising through films that carried heart, nostalgia, and strong leading man presence. Other famous films: The Untouchables, 1987, Field of Dreams, 1989, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, 1991, The Bodyguard, 1992. In private life, Kevin Costner has experienced marriage, fatherhood, public success, and personal change across many decades. He has 7 children, and through every chapter of his career, he has remained closely tied to stories about land, family, memory, and the American West. With Dances with Wolves, he did more than act. He directed, produced, and helped create one of the most remembered films of the 1990s. The film won Best Picture, and Costner won Best Director. After all these years, his image as John Dunbar still feels quiet, wide, and full of longing. A man riding alone toward a life he never expected to find. Stands with a Fist is a woman between two worlds. She is wounded, strong, and full of quiet sorrow. Her past is painful, her identity is complicated, and her heart has learned how to survive. She does not belong easily to one place, but she belongs deeply to the people who saved her. Through Dunbar, old memories return, old words return, and the life she buried begins to speak again. Her story is tender, because she is not only a bridge between cultures, she is a survivor, a woman who carries loss and still finds love. Mary McDonnell was born on April 28, 1952, in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, USA. Before her breakthrough in film, she built a respected career on stage. She worked with patience, discipline, and emotional depth. Dances with Wolves brought her international attention and an Academy Award nomination. After that, she continued to become known for strong, intelligent, and layered women on screen. Other famous films and series: Passion Fish, 1992, Independence Day, 1996, Donnie Darko, 2001, Battlestar Galactica, 2004. In private life, Mary McDonnell was married to actor Randall Mell. They had 2 children together. Away from the screen, she has often kept a graceful private presence, letting her work speak with quiet strength. Her career moved between film, television, and theater, always marked by dignity and emotional control. As Stands with a Fist, she gave the film its tender center, a woman carrying grief and slowly learning to breathe again. Kicking Bird is the thoughtful heart of the Lakota camp. He is wise, patient, and open-minded. He does not rush to fear. He does not rush to hatred. He watches, he listens, and he tries to understand. When Dunbar appears, Kicking Bird does not see only an enemy. He sees a question, a possibility, a strange door opening between 2 worlds. His strength is quiet, his leadership is gentle, But his choices matter deeply, because through Kicking Bird, the film finds trust, and trust is where the story truly begins. Graham Greene was born on June 22, 1952, in Oswego, Ontario, Canada. He was a member of the Oneida Nation. Before international fame, he worked in different jobs, including technical and manual work, before fully entering acting. His path was not instant, but once he arrived, his presence was impossible to ignore. Other famous films and series: Thunderheart, 1992, Maverick, 1994, The Green Mile, 1999, The Last of Us, 2023. In private life, Graham Greene was married to Hilary Blackmore. He had a daughter, and across his long career, he became respected not only for talent, but for bringing honesty, humor, and depth to Indigenous roles on screen. He passed away on September 1st, 2025, at the age of 73. His loss was deeply felt by film lovers, co-stars, and Indigenous communities. As Kicking Bird, he gave Dances with Wolves its quiet wisdom, and after all these years, his eyes still seem to ask us to listen before we judge. Wind in His Hair is a warrior of fire. He is fierce, proud, and deeply loyal. At first, he sees Dunbar as a threat, a stranger, an enemy. His anger is sharp, his distrust is strong. But beneath the fury, there is honor. Wind in His Hair does not give trust easily, but when he gives it completely. His journey is powerful because his hatred becomes brotherhood, and near the end, his voice across the cliff becomes one of the film's most unforgettable moments. A farewell, a cry, and a bond that cannot be broken. Rodney A. Grant was born on March 9, 1959, in Macy, Nebraska, USA. He is an Omaha actor raised on the Omaha Reservation. Before Dances with Wolves, he had already begun building a screen career, but Wind in His Hair made his face known around the world. Other famous films and series: War Party, 1988, Geronimo, An American Legend, 1993, Hawkeye, 1994, Ghosts of Mars, 2001. In private life, Rodney A. Grant has children and has remained connected to Native communities and youth work. His career continued through films and television, often bringing strength, presence, and cultural weight to his roles. He may always be remembered most for that final cry from the cliffs, but that moment still carries power, because in Wind in His Hair, he gave the film a warrior's anger, a friend's loyalty, and one of cinema's great goodbyes. Tin Bears is the elder voice of the people. He is calm, measured, and deeply respected. He does not speak in haste. He does not rule with noise. His power comes from memory, from experience, from knowing what has already been lost. When Tin Bears listens, the camp listens. When he speaks, his words carry history. He understands danger. He understands change. And he knows that peace is never simple. In the film, Tin Bears gives the story balance. He is not only a chief, he is the weight of the past, standing in front of an uncertain future. Floyd Red Crow Westerman was born on August 17, 1936, on the Lake Traverse Indian Reservation in South Dakota, USA. Before becoming known as an actor, he was already respected as a musician, singer, and activist. His songs carried history, his voice carried memory, and later, his screen presence carried the same dignity. Other famous films and series: Renegades, 1989, The Doors, 1991, Dharma and Greg, 1997, Hidalgo, 2004. In private life, Floyd Westerman lived as an artist deeply connected to Native rights, music, and cultural memory. He worked with major musicians, performed across the country, and used his voice for more than entertainment. He passed away on December 13, 2007, at the age of 71. As Tin Bears, he brought stillness to the film, a stillness that felt ancient. And when he looked across the prairie, it felt as if generations were looking with him. Black Shawl is the strength inside the home. She is protective, direct, and deeply caring. She does not need many scenes to be remembered. Her presence is steady, her love is practical, and her eyes often say what words do not. As Kicking Bird's wife, she carries warmth, concern, and quiet authority. She stands with a fist, not as a stranger, but as family. In a story filled with war, distance, and fear, Black Shawl reminds us of something softer, the power of care, the strength of women, and the home that every journey returns to. Tantoo Cardinal was born on July 20th, 1950, in Anzac, Alberta, Canada. She is an actress of Cree and Métis heritage. Before Dances with Wolves, she had already built a strong career in Canadian film and television. Over the years, she became one of the most recognized Indigenous actresses of her generation. Other famous films and series: Black Robe, 1991, Legends of the Fall, 1994, Smoke Signals, 1998, Killers of the Flower Moon, 2023. In private life, Tantoo Cardinal is a mother, and her artistic life has been closely connected to Indigenous storytelling, performance, and representation. She continued acting across decades, with roles that carried dignity, strength, and emotional honesty. As Black Shawl, she gave Dances with Wolves a quiet warmth, not loud, not showy, but deeply felt. A reminder that history is not only carried by warriors, but also by women who keep families alive. Timmons is the rough wagon driver on the road west. He is loud, crude, and careless. He brings Dunbar toward the frontier, but he does not truly understand it. To him, the land is only distance, the people are only strangers, and the journey is only a job. Timmons is not noble, he is not gentle, but he adds texture to the world of the film, a reminder that the frontier was not filled only with heroes. It was filled with flawed men, small minds, and dangerous ignorance. His time in the story is brief, but it leaves a mark. Robert Pastorelli was born on June 21st, 1954, in New Brunswick, New Jersey, USA. Before film audiences knew him well, he built his career through theater, television, and supporting roles. He had a rough, earthy presence on screen, and he often brought humor, warmth, or tension to characters on the edge. Other famous films and series: Murphy Brown, 1988, Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit, 1993, Eraser, 1996, Michael, 1996. In private life, Robert Pastorelli's journey was marked by both professional success and personal struggles. He became widely recognized through television, especially for his role in Murphy Brown, but his life ended far too soon. He passed away on March 8, 2004, at the age of 49. In Dances with Wolves, he appears only for part of the journey, but Timmons remains memorable because Pastorelli made him rough, messy, and impossible to ignore. Lieutenant Elgin belongs to the world Dunbar leaves behind. He is formal, nervous, and trapped by duty. He appears inside the military system, where orders matter more than understanding. Elgin is not the heart of the story, but he represents something important: the cold machinery of authority, the distance between soldiers and truth, the world that cannot understand what Dunbar has become. In the film, Elgin shows how small people can become inside large systems, and how easily fear can hide behind a uniform. Charles Rocket was born on August 28, 1949, in Bangor, Maine, USA. Before his film work, he became known as a comedian, performer, and cast member on Saturday Night Live. He had a tall, distinctive presence and a career that moved between comedy, film, television, and voice work. Other famous films and series: Saturday Night Live, 1980, Hocus Pocus, 1993, Dumb and Dumber, 1994, Murder at 1600, 1997. In private life, Charles Rocket was married to Beth Crellin. They had one child. His career had bright moments, difficult turns, and memorable supporting roles across many genres. He passed away on October 7, 2005, at the age of 56. As Lieutenant Elgin, he played a small part in a much larger canvas, but even in a brief role, he helped show the tense, uneasy world that Dunbar was leaving behind. And that was the cast of Dances with Wolves, then and now. More than 3 decades have passed since this film first carried us across the prairie. Some of its stars are still with us, some have sadly passed away. But together, they created a story that still feels powerful. A story about loneliness, friendship, trust, and the courage to see another world with open eyes. If this film brought back a memory for you, tell us in the comments. Who was your favorite character? John Dunbar, Stands with a Fist, Kicking Bird, or Wind in His Hair? And which classic movie should we revisit next? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more classic movie memories. See you in the next journey back through cinema history.